Since the dawn of human history, one question has echoed across civilizations, cultures, and generations. What awaits beyond this life? Kings have wondered it while sitting upon their thrones. Warriors have whispered it in their final breaths. The poor have hoped for it in their suffering, and believers have held onto it through centuries of faith. The Bible speaks of a place prepared by God Himself, a place untouched by decay, a place where sorrow cannot survive, a place called heaven. But what does heaven actually look like according to Scripture? Is it clouds and harps? Is it golden streets? Is it a physical place? Or something far greater? To answer this, we must travel to one of the most mysterious and symbolic books ever written, the Book of Revelation. Through the visions given to the Apostle John, the Bible offers humanity a breathtaking glimpse into eternity, a glimpse into the final destination of redemption. John writes in Revelation 21:1, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away." The vision begins not with heaven appearing, but with the old world fading away. Imagine the universe as humanity has always known it. The brokenness, the corruption, the wars and pain, the decay written into every living thing. John describes all of it dissolving like mist before the sunrise. This is not simply destruction, it is renewal. The Bible presents heaven as part of something far greater, a complete restoration of creation itself. Not an escape from reality, but the perfection of reality. The phrase, "new heaven and new earth," suggests transformation, rebirth of existence, where everything is restored to the original harmony God intended in the Garden of Eden. The curse that entered the world through sin is finally removed. Creation is healed. History reaches its final chapter, and as the old world fades, something unimaginable appears. Revelation 21:2 says, "I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband." John does not describe humanity rising to heaven. Instead, heaven descends to humanity. The new Jerusalem appears like a radiant city suspended in divine light. Its beauty is compared to a bride on her wedding day, pure, prepared, and filled with joy. This imagery carries deep symbolic meaning. In biblical tradition, marriage represents covenant, a union built on love, faithfulness, and eternal commitment. The New Jerusalem symbolizes the perfect union between God and His people. The city is not merely architecture, it represents redeemed humanity itself, a civilization fully transformed by divine presence. Every detail John describes emphasizes glory, harmony, and sacred perfection. The city is vast, radiant, alive with light that does not come from stars or fire, but from God Himself. Revelation 21:3 reveals the heart of heaven. Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and He will dwell with them. The single sentence contains the ultimate promise of the Bible. From Genesis to Revelation, Scripture tells the story of separation between God and humanity caused by sin. In Eden, God walked with humanity, but that intimacy was broken. Throughout history, God's presence appeared through temples, prophets, and sacred rituals. Yet in heaven, there is no barrier, no veil, no distance, no separation between Creator and creation. Heaven is defined not by location, but by relationship. The greatest joy of eternity is not golden streets or celestial beauty. It is the direct presence of God. The Bible describes this experience as the fulfillment of every human longing to know love without fear, to experience peace without end, to exist in perfect belonging.
Perhaps one of the most comforting verses in Scripture appears in Revelation 21:4. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain. Heaven is portrayed as the complete healing of existence. Imagine a world where grief no longer exists, where illness cannot enter, where emotional wounds are restored, where loss becomes impossible. The Bible suggests that suffering is not simply removed. It is replaced with joy that cannot be diminished. Death, humanity's oldest enemy, is erased from reality. This moment represents the reversal of everything broken by sin. The fear that has followed humanity since the beginning of time disappears, and in its place, eternal peace begins. John continues describing the New Jerusalem in Revelation 21:18-21. He describes walls made of jasper, foundations decorated with precious stones, streets of pure gold, transparent like glass, and 12 gates formed from enormous pearls. 8. These images are among the most famous descriptions of heaven. But biblical scholars often emphasize that these materials symbolize spiritual truths rather than earthly wealth. Gold in Scripture represents purity and divine value. Precious stones symbolize strength, beauty, and permanence. Pearl gates reflect rarity and perfection. The city is described as geometrically perfect, shaped like a cube. Interestingly, this shape mirrors the Holy of Holies in the ancient Temple of Jerusalem, a place where God's presence dwelled. This suggests that in heaven, the entire city becomes a sanctuary. Every corner is sacred. Every moment is worship. Revelation 21:23 declares, "The city does not need the sun or the moon to shine on it, for the glory of God gives it light." Heaven exists beyond natural light. There is no sunrise, no sunset, no darkness. God himself becomes the source of illumination. This symbolizes truth, knowledge, and divine clarity. In heaven, confusion disappears. Humanity sees reality as it truly is. The Bible describes this experience as seeing God face to face. All spiritual questions are answered. All mysteries are revealed. Light in Scripture always represents life. And in heaven, life shines endlessly. Revelation 22:1 introduces another breathtaking image. The angel showed me the river of the water of life. As clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb, water has always symbolized life, renewal, and spiritual nourishment in biblical tradition. This river flows directly from God's throne. It represents eternal grace, the unending source of spiritual vitality. Unlike earthly rivers that can dry up or become polluted, the river of life remains pure and infinite. It nourishes the entire heavenly city. It symbolizes a reality where spiritual thirst is permanently satisfied. Beside the river stands the tree of life, described in Revelation 22:22. The tree produces 12 kinds of fruit, yielding a new harvest each month. Its leaves are described as bringing healing to the nations. This is one of the most powerful symbolic moments in the Bible. The tree of life first appeared in the Garden of Eden, the place humanity lost after the fall. Now in heaven, the tree returns. This represents the restoration of everything humanity lost. Eternal life is no longer forbidden, it is freely given. The continuous fruit symbolizes abundance. The healing leaves symbolize universal restoration. Heaven is portrayed as a cosmic Eden, but perfected. At the center of heaven stands the throne of God and the Lamb. The Lamb represents Jesus Christ, the sacrifice that redeemed humanity. The throne represents divine authority and ultimate justice. In heaven, these two realities exist in perfect harmony. Justice and mercy meet. Power and love become inseparable. Angels surround the throne in worship. Countless believers gather in unity. This scene reflects the ultimate victory of redemption. History reaches its fulfillment. Struggle between good and evil ends. God reigns openly, and his people share in his kingdom.
Revelation 7-9 describes a vast crowd beyond human counting. People from every nation, every language, every culture, all dressed in white robes. White symbolizes purity and victory. They stand before the throne holding palm branches, ancient symbols of triumph and celebration. Heaven is not portrayed as isolation. It is community, a unified family of redeemed humanity. There are no divisions, no conflicts, no barriers of race, class, or history. All are equal in divine grace. Heaven is filled with worship, but not as obligation. It is the natural response to experiencing divine perfection. The Bible describes songs of praise echoing through eternity. Angels sing, believers rejoice, creation itself participates in worship. This is not repetitive ritual. It is overwhelming joy expressed through adoration. Heaven is portrayed as an eternal celebration of love, truth, and beauty. Perhaps the most profound message of heaven in the Bible is restoration. Heaven does not erase humanity's story, it completes it. Everything broken is healed. Everything lost is restored. Everything incomplete is perfected. The Bible presents heaven as the final fulfillment of God's original design for existence. It is where humanity becomes fully alive. The book of Revelation ends not with fear, but with invitation. Revelation 20:17 says, "Let the one who is thirsty come, and let the one who wishes take the free gift of the water of life." Heaven is not portrayed as exclusive or unreachable. It is offered as a gift, a future prepared through divine love and sacrifice. The Bible's final vision is not about destruction, it is about hope. A promise that beyond suffering, beyond time, beyond death, there exists a reality where love never fades, where peace never ends, where humanity finally finds its eternal home. And according to Scripture, that home is heaven. Heaven is not simply a place above the clouds. It is the completion of God's story with humanity. And according to the Bible, that story is still being written. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe the Biblical Mysteries 2025 channel and bell.
Subscribe now to watch more videos about mystery.